What's up guys, Sam James, Barprints.co here, and today we're going to be talking about how to smoke a cocktail at home. Now by the end of this video, we're going to go over the best ingredients for you to use when you're smoking a cocktail, 3 different techniques for you to smoke your cocktails, and of course by the end of the video, we're also going to give you a couple examples for you to try out at home, and you can play around with it as I always encourage you guys to do, and see what works best for you. Now, before we jump into the video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you never miss a video when it comes out. If you're liking these videos, please don't forget to like and share it with your friends. And as always, if there's something you want me to cover, leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to get to it. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Now, there are 3 things you want to take into consideration when you're looking to choose your ingredient to smoke your cocktail with. First and foremost, obviously, is the ingredient dry enough so that when you put a flame to it, it's actually going to generate smoke from the ingredient burning. Second of which, does the flavors and the aromas of that ingredient complement the cocktail that you want to add it to? And then last but not least is what I like to consider the pageantry of the whole cocktail preparation process with the smoke. You want to think about what technique you're going to use and how that plays into the overall sensory experience of your guests. The sights, the smells, and then of course the flavor, and all those things together make for an excellent guest experience, excellent cocktail experience, and that should always be your goal when you're making not just a smoked cocktail, but any cocktail for that matter. Now, when smoking a cocktail, there's 4 different types of ingredients that I usually go for. Naturally, all of them being dry enough for you to use for your smoking so that they burn really nicely. First of which would be your spices. And that would be, of course, your cinnamon, your cloves, your pimento / allspice berries. Those kind of aromatic, flavorful spices work amazing with a smoked cocktail, depending on which spirit you're using. Next, of course, you want to go with your herbs. Your rosemary, your sage, your thyme. Again, great things for you to use. Third on that list, I would definitely say wood chips. Different types of woods, cherry woods, apple woods, things like that, have a nice aroma to them, a nice flavor to them as well. And kind of in the wood category or the wood family, as you know, however you want to call it, we want to go with tobacco, particularly cigar tobacco, because it pairs, in my opinion, very well with the right bourbon or the right scotch, as it were. Last but not least, one of my personal favorites to use is the dried loose teas. The combination of flavors within the tea itself really makes for a nice, complex kind of marriage of different flavors in and of itself for the smoke that pairs nicely with the right cocktail. Now, to get started with smoking, you really only need 2 main pieces of equipment for your arsenal: a creme brulee torch and a handheld smoker. You can see them right here. Along with a couple ingredients, we have some wood chips, some loose tea, some cloves, some pimento, and of course some cinnamon sticks that you can use to get started. Now, the first technique we're going to cover is simply taking your torch and your ingredient and flaming it. For the purposes of demonstrations, we're just going to use a cinnamon stick here. And it's really simple. All you do is take your stick, take your torch, go ahead and flame it, burn it until you start to see it glowing, and it can really start to burn on its own. Once that's done, you go ahead and place it under a glass. Make sure you have something on the bottom that can seal in the smoke once you turn the glass over, and then simply allow the glass to fill itself with smoke. Now, the second technique, similar to the first one, just as easy. The only difference you're going to do is, instead of holding your stick, your sage, whatever the case may be, and flaming it there, you place it on a flat plate that is burn resistant. Go ahead, place it, start flaming it, and then you do the same thing. You allow it to flame until it starts to glow. Therefore, it starts to smoke by itself. And then once it's really got going, it's really hot enough to kind of start to burn and smoke by itself, then you just simply take your glass and put it over there and allow the glass to fill with smoke. Now, the third technique, and the one that you've probably seen the most on, be it Instagram or YouTube or any other medium, is the use of the handheld smoker. And this is the go-to that you want to be using for your loose ingredients, whether it's your cigar tobacco, your loose teas, your wood chips. This is the one that's going to get you the best bang for your buck when you're smoking your cocktail. Now, this technique, of course, is super simple. All you have to do is take your handheld smoker, make sure you turn it on, and then of course put your ingredient, whether it is your teas or your wood chips, whatever the case. And the purpose right now in this demonstration, we're going to be using the tea. You put it in your receptacle, take your creme brulee torch, and go ahead and heat that. As you can see, the smoke starts to flow pretty much immediately. If you're doing it into a bottle like we're here, doing it here, it might help if you kind of cover the mouth of the bottle a little bit just to make sure that all the smoke comes in. Once it's done, you turn it off and you go ahead and cap the bottle. Now, I like using a bottle because it's great for batch cocktails. Let's say, for example, you have a guest who you want to have several servings of this drink in, you put it in a bottle, you're all set. You could also use it with a jar, which is something else that I think is a really cool idea. If you have the right jar and you have enough of these jars, then you can go ahead and make single serve portions of your smoked cocktail for people by filling the jar with smoke as well. Now, the important thing for you to remember when you're making your cocktail is that you fill your receptacle with smoke first, and then you go ahead off on the side and you make your cocktail. In the case of the first two demonstrations, once the smoke is in the glass, all you do is have your ice prepared, put your ice in your smoked glass, and then immediately pour your cocktail in. Go ahead and serve to your guests right away. In the case of the bottle, what you do next is smoke the bottle, have your cocktail prepared, go ahead and pour the cocktail into the bottle, cap it, and then give it what I like to call a quick smoke wash or a smoke rinse. All you have to do is give it one shake. That's plenty for the flavors to start to get into it, and then you go ahead and serve it to your guests. Pour it out, and then when you're pouring out the cocktail with the smoke in the bottle, you start to see the smoke come out as well, and it goes very nicely with your cocktail. The only difference I would probably say is in the case of using the jar. If you're going to use the jar, you can go ahead and put your cocktail in the jar first, then smoke the jar, cap it, give it a quick rinse, and then you can serve that to your guests so that they can open it themselves, pour themselves, and get that nice aroma from the smoked cocktail. And there you have it, smoking a cocktail in a nutshell. Now, the spirit that I used was quite frankly just simply bourbon, and you saw the different things I was smoking with. But if you want to try some other things that you could smoke, I went ahead and put links in the description for two cocktails I came up with, the Bittersweet Symphony and the Wrinkle Gin Thyme. Both of them are smoked cocktails. You can click the link in the description, check out the recipes, see if you like them, give them a try for yourself. Now, if you're looking for products to go ahead and upgrade your bar arsenal, go ahead and head over to barprints.co. Also, don't forget, you could also download our free ebook, the Barprints Cheat Sheet. It will help you level up your skills in under 24 hours, all the fundamentals and a couple advanced techniques that you would need. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to make sure you never miss a video when it comes out. And last but not least, if there's anything you want me to cover in future videos, please leave it in the comments below. I promise I'll get to it in the days or weeks again. Thanks a lot for joining me, and as always, cheers.